The Little Rat and the King's Highway. Pip was a very small rat with very big ideas. He lived near the King's Highway and spent his days watching the grand carriages go by. Pip didn't think of himself as a common mouse. He believed he was destined for greatness. One sunny morning, he put on his finest red cape and decided to take a walk right down the middle of the road. "Look at me," Pip squeaked, though there was no one close enough to hear. "I am walking the same path as princes and knights. I am sleek, I am fast, and I am surely the most important traveler on this road today." He puffed out his chest and marched with a rhythmic stomp of his tiny paws. Suddenly, the sound of trumpets filled the air. A great parade was approaching. At the front of the line was Titus, the king's favorite elephant. Titus was a mountain of gray skin and muscle, draped in shimmering purple silks and bells that jingled with every step. High upon his back sat the king himself, waving to the crowds that lined the path. Pip stopped in his tracks. He watched as the townspeople cheered and threw flower petals. Everyone was shouting Titus's name. "Look at the great Titus," they cried. There is no creature as magnificent as he. Pip felt a sharp sting of jealousy. He was standing right there, but not a single person had noticed his red cape. Pip couldn't stand being ignored. He hopped onto a large stone so he could be seen. "How silly you all are," he shouted at the crowd at the top of his lungs. "Why do you stare at that big, slow creature as if he were a wonder of the world? He is just a gray lump with large ears." Titus continued to walk with calm dignity. He didn't even notice the tiny rat shouting from the rock. His giant feet made the ground shake, and his long trunk swayed back and forth. To the crowd, Titus was a symbol of strength and power, the most impressive sight they had ever seen. Pip pointed a paw at Titus and then at himself. "Look at me," Pip cried again. "I have 2 eyes, just like him. I have 4 legs, just like him. I even have ears and a tail. If having those things makes him great, then I am just as great as any elephant in the king's service." High above on Titus's back, something moved. Tucked inside a wicker basket next to the king's seat was Barnaby, the royal cat. Barnaby had been napping, but the sound of Pip's high-pitched squeaking had woken him up. He peered over the edge of the basket with bright, hungry eyes. Before Pip could say another word about his greatness, Barnaby leaped from the basket. The cat landed on the road with a soft thud and a loud, terrifying hiss. Pip's pride vanished instantly. He didn't feel like an elephant anymore. He felt like a very small, very tasty rat. He turned and scrambled as fast as his 4 legs could carry him. Pip dove into a dark hole beneath the fence and didn't come out for a long time. As he sat in the dark, shivering, he realized the truth. Having ears and eyes like a giant didn't make him a giant. He learned that day that looking like the great in some ways does not make us great.